What up? What up? Well, Georgia Tech, that GT, is that right? Doing today. Hope you're doing well. Mike wasn't working for a second there. I think I got it working now. All right, man. So what's going on? So I'm waiting a few minutes for the for YouTube to notify people that I'm live. So just give it a second. YouTube is really late on notifications. Sometimes they are. Prediction: Arkansas, LSU 45, Arkansas 20. Hope you're right. Hope you're right. Hope you're right. Hope you are correct. But yeah, so we'll look over last week in the SEC, and then we'll preview coming week. Not so much on. I do this. All right, so let's see. Capture. All right, so all right, I guess we'll just go up from the top. Start with the Georgia Bulldogs and the South Carolina Gamecocks. This was actually a better game than I thought it was going to be. A lot better game than I thought it was going to be. As Gamecocks actually led at halftime, 14-3. They got shut out in the second half. As Georgia scored 21 points in the second half, and they win 24-14. So yeah, I really thought Georgia was gonna blow South Carolina out like by 20, 30, 20, 25 points. I was really surprised that Gamecocks actually led at halftime, but Carson Beck threw for 269 yards. Spencer Rattler had two interceptions, threw for 256, and the running game was the big sign in this game of who wins, who won and lost, because Carolina only ran the ball for 53 yards. If you take out Spencer Rattler, Joyner was the leading ball carrier, 10 yards. So they didn't run the ball that much. They passed 42 times and ran it 16. Usually when you have a discrepancy like that, you're going to lose. Georgia was much more balanced, as they had 44 carries and 35 passing attempts, and of course they ran for 190 for 4.3 yards per rush. As Edwards 20 carries, a buck 18 and a touchdown, and also Bell had a touchdown and Cash Jones had a touchdown for Georgia. So their run game is why they won this football game. As Romsey Jack Saint had 71 yards receiving for them, and Lovett had 56 yards. So did Brock Bowers, 7 catches, 54. Brock Bowers. I love for the Saints to draft him in the next year, but I don't think the Saints are going to be picking that in that spot. So Georgia stays undefeated, and they stay number. Of course, they're going to stay number one. But they've got some big games coming up, college football. So we'll see if they stay number one, even though if they went out, because Florida State playing Clemson. You got Notre Dame playing Ohio State. A lot of ranked matchups coming up. So I'm curious to see if Georgia stays number one. Even though if they, of course, they play nobody this coming week. But we'll look at that later. All right, so we got South Alabama. I'm sorry, South Florida. Excuse me, South Florida, as they played host Alabama. Alabama went 17-3. This was a very, very Alabama, man. You mean this very tough offensive game for them, as they didn't throw the ball well at all. They only threw for 107 yards between two quarterbacks, between Simpson and Buckner, and they did run the ball for 42 times for 203 and 4.8 yards per rush. And the Brown had Brown for South Florida only had 87 yards passing. Did have an interception, no touchdowns. As Roydell Williams was the leading ball carrier for Alabama, 17 carries for 129. Jason McClellan also had 74 yards rushing for Alabama. Alabama goes to 2-1 on the season. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, so Bama has a big game coming up, and so we'll be going over that shortly. All right, we got Tennessee and Florida. This game was. I thought Tennessee would win it. I thought Tennessee would win a close one. I thought Tennessee was the better team, but turns out no, they weren't the better team. As the Florida Gators are definitely they're definitely the better football team. As Joe Milton threw for 287 for Tennessee, 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. As Mertz threw a touchdown, had a 166-yard through the air. As Trevor Etienne, 23 carries for 172 yards and a touchdown. Montrell Johnson also had a touchdown running for Florida. They went 29-16, and I was shocked. I was really shocked that I thought Tennessee would win a close one. But man, Florida's obviously the better football team over Tennessee. As Florida goes 1-0 in conference, and Tennessee falls to 0-1. That's a big loss for Tennessee because that means they got to win out if they want to have any chance of winning the SEC East. And then, of course, Florida's got to lose 2 games because they'll have the tiebreaker. So Tennessee's chance to win the SEC East went down tremendously with that loss. They got to play Georgia coming up, Alabama. So although Alabama's not that good, but Tennessee takes a big loss in the swamp. All right, the LSU Tigers went on the road. They faced the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and LSU wins 41-14. As I thought this was going to be a lot closer game as well. I thought LSU would win, but I really thought that Mississippi State would have more success running the football, but they really didn't. They ran the ball for 94 yards, and 52 of it was on one play. LSU really, their defense played phenomenal the whole game, and Mississippi State's offense is just not the same. It's not the same without Mike Leach and the air raid. I think they might have made a mistake of switching their offense from a to a. I think they made a mistake. Will Rogers looks horrible in this offense, but he threw for 103 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. The Tigers get the win as Jaden Daniels threw for 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also was leading ball carrier, had 2 rushing touchdowns. Josh Williams had the other rushing touchdown, and Malik Neighbors was phenomenal in this game. 13 catches for 239 yards and 2 touchdowns. Malik Neighbors, Tigers go to 1-0 to conference, 2-1 overall. Mississippi State goes to 0-1 conference and 2-1 overall. Tigers get the. All right, here we go. This is one of the better games in the probably best game in the SEC, honestly. As Missouri beats Kansas State 30-27, as they get a 61-yard field goal. Time expired. As Brady Cook threw 2 touchdowns for 356 yards. Missouri, Will Howard threw for 3 touchdowns and an interception for Kansas State. Uh, Cody Schrader had 10 carries for 58 yards for Missouri. And Nathaniel Pete had 7 carries for 18. Brady Cook had a rushing touchdown for Missouri as Luther Burden 7 catches for a buck 14 and 2 touchdowns for Missouri. As Missouri, they're 3-0 on the season. K-State falls to 2-1. As Kansas State falls from the ranks of the unbeaten. All right, Georgia Tech and Ole Miss. Ole Miss wins 48-23 as in the second half they just put up the points in the second half. 14 in the third, 24 in the fourth as their offense just went crazy in the second half as Jackson Dart 251 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. As Dart was also the leading rusher for Ole Miss. 14 carries for 136 yards, had 2 touchdowns. Bentley also had a touchdown, and Judkins had a touchdown, and Matt Jones had a rushing touchdown for Ole Miss. As they go to 3-0 in the season, they got a big game coming up. Yellow Jackets fall to 1-2 on the season for. Got a big game coming up. A lot of games in the SEC coming up this week. Finally getting to some SEC play. All right, we got Texas A&M and Louisiana Monroe as A&M rebounds from that loss to Miami. They win 47-3. So they did what they had to do against a lesser opponent. As Wegman threw for 337 yards, a touchdown. Max Johnson came in relief. He threw a touchdown pass for Texas A&M. Ruben Owens was the leading ball carrier. 8 carries, 51 yards. Le'Veon Moss also had 46 yards. Amari Daniels had 36. And Wegman had 18 yards rushing. And Owens, Daniels, and Wegman had rushing touchdowns for the Aggies. Receiving, Anaya Smith, 7 catches for 127. Walker had 5 catches for 110. He had a touchdown reception. And Trail had the other touchdown, receiving touchdown. And he had 1 catch for 13, but that one was a touchdown. As the Aggies to 2-1, the Warhawks fall to 2. At Samford and Auburn. Auburn wins 45-13 over in-state Samford, as Auburn does what they should do, but Peyton Thorne did throw 2 interceptions, threw for 282 yards, and Peyton Thorne was also the leading man. A lot of quarterbacks are leading rushers nowadays. Kind of crazy. 11 carries for a buck 23, and Hunter had 11 carries for 37 with a touchdown. Peyton Thorne had 2 rushing touchdowns for Auburn, and Robbie Ashford also had a touchdown rushing for Auburn. On the receiving corps, had Jay Fair, 7 catches, 93, was a leading receiver. But Shane Hooks, Mike Riley were the 2 receivers that got caught touchdown passes. The Tigers, they're undefeated 3-0, but their schedule will get a little bit tougher. The Auburn Tigers will. All right, we got Vanderbilt and UNLV. As UNLV beats the Commodores 40-37. Vanderbilt, after winning the first 2, have lost the next 2. They're 2-2. A.J. Swan threw for 335 yards for the Commodores, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Patrick Smith was the lead ball carrier, 13 carries for 43 yards. Humphreys had 3 catches for 102 and a touchdown. Skinner also had a touchdown reception, and Justin Ball had a touchdown reception for Vanderbilt in a losing effort. Vanderbilt put up the points, but their defense let them down big time. They fall again. I got 2 more games to go over, then we'll have to look at the this coming weekend. We got BYU and Arkansas, another good game in the conference. Well, it wasn't a conference game, but BYU wins 38-31. As KJ Jefferson threw for 247 yards, a touchdown and a pick. As AJ Green, and 9 carries for 86, 2 touchdowns. Arkansas. Then on the receiving core, Has had 4 catches, 78, and a touchdown. Leading receiver was Armstrong, 9 catches for 98. Arkansas loses 38-31. So loses 38-31. BYU scored 17 second half points. Arkansas is only 7. So Arkansas put up some points in the first half. Second half, they get it done. All right, we got Akron and Kentucky. 35-3. Kentucky goes to 3-0 on the season. Akron falls to 1-2. As Devin Leary, three touchdowns, 1 interception, threw for 350 yards. Ray Davis, 7 catches, 72 for 7 rushes for 72 and a touchdown. And Sumo Kambage, 4 rushes for 58 and a touchdown for Kentucky. They go to 3-0 in the season, but of course their schedule's going to get a little bit tougher. As Ray Davis had a touchdown reception, so did Robinson and Hayes. Also had a receiving touchdowns. All 3 of those guys have receiving touchdowns. Kentucky. All right, let's go over the number 4. That's all the games over. Week number 4. So we got a slate of games that are up. First one is going to be Auburn and Texas A&M. As Texas A&M has a 67.2% chance of winning. They're 7.5-point favorites at home. As of course Auburn is undefeated. A&M is 2-1. This is the first SEC game for both these schools. Yeah, I like Texas A&M in this game, being at home. Auburn's they won some games, but I don't think Auburn's that good. And once they get SEC play, we'll find out. Of course, we'll find out more about these teams. I think Texas A&M get the job done at home against the Auburn Tigers. Next, we got Kentucky, Vanderbilt. Wildcats are going on the road to face the Vanderbilt Commodores. Vanderbilt's just they're really bad defensively. Kentucky's a 13.5-point favorite. Although this is technically a road game, but not much of a home field advantage for Vanderbilt. But I mean, this is a game Kentucky. This is a game Kentucky should win easily. I just don't see how they can lose the game. Vanderbilt's defense is not good. UNLV put up 40 points against them. Give me Kentucky. All right, got Ole Miss and Alabama. This game is the mark. It's a 2:30 slot here in the SEC. Alabama at home against Ole Miss. Look at they gave Bama a 66% chance of winning. They don't give Ole Miss a chance at all. Bama's a 7-point favorite at home. Even though the problems Alabama has had on offense, I guess they're not giving Ole Miss much credit at all. I think this game is going to be. I think this game is going to be back and forth. I really think this game is going to be back and forth. I want to take Ole Miss really really bad in this game. I just think their offense is a little bit better than Alabama's. Bama had a tough time going against Texas. In Quinn Ewers. I think Dart's a better quarterback than Milroe. So I am. I'm gonna take Ole Miss in this game. I think Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is gonna go on the road and they're gonna get it done. And man, watch out for Ole Miss in the SEC West if they win this game. All right, oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's a outstanding game. We got Tennessee and the Texas San Antonio Roadrunners. As Tennessee will try to rebound from the loss against Florida. I mean, Tennessee should win this game. They're about 21 points. Tennessee. I just don't know how to see Tennessee losing this game. If they lose this game, then they have some major problems. If they lose to the Texas San Antonio Roadrunners, yeah, give me Tennessee and by a lot. I mean, they only predictor only has 86.3. I think that should be a little bit high. Oh, Arkansas and LSU conference game as the Tigers return home to face the Razorbacks. LSU beat State last week. Arkansas lost to BYU. And the point spread is 17.5. Man, Arkansas usually plays LSU really, really tough historically. So that's just why I think this point spread is a little bit too high in my opinion. But I thought last week that the Mississippi State spread was high. I didn't think LSU was going to win by. I didn't think they were going to cover the 9.5 spread. So, but LSU's going to win. I think LSU win this game. They're going to win this game. I think this game might be a little bit closer than the 17.5. But give me the. I'll pick the Tigers to win, but they're going to win by like 4. I think they're going to win. I don't think they're going to. We got a couple. We got a few out of conference games. It's just not much to talk about. Charlotte and Florida. Florida's going to win this game. It's nothing. I mean, Florida's favored by 28. I mean, there's not much really to talk about. Florida's going to win this game, and they're probably going to win by a bundle. They'll probably win by 30. All right, then we got UAB and Georgia. Now another game that's ho hum. Is Georgia is favored by 42 points. Georgia should name their score against UAB. I can't wait till we actually get like talking about every game's a conference game. That starts next week, though. That starts next week. At Georgia, not much to say about this game. Georgia's gonna by a lot. We got Memphis and Missouri. Missouri trying to stay unbeaten as they're going to face the 3-0 Memphis Tigers. Both these teams are 3-0 as Missouri is only a 6-point favorite at home against the Missouri Tigers. Got the battle of the Tigers, Missouri and Memphis. As this game will probably be pretty competitive. Game probably will be pretty competitive, and it wouldn't shock me if Missouri lost this game. Really wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't surprise me at all if this game's in St. Louis. And this is a neutral site game. I didn't know that. It says here. Interesting. Yeah, more than yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Memphis won this. Wouldn't be surprised. All right, then the last game to look at is Mississippi State and South Carolina. Mississippi State comes in at 2-1, 0-1 in conference. Carolina is 1-2 and 0-1. South Carolina is a 6.5-point favorite at home. As I like the way they competed against Georgia. I was really surprised that South Carolina made that game was really competitive the whole game. I was surprised. And Mississippi State's not that good. They're really not. Will Rogers is struggling in this offense that they have. I'm gonna pick the Gamecocks at home. I think the Gamecocks will. But this might be one of the better games of the week. Also, in the SEC. Give me the Gamecocks. Give me the Gamecocks at home. All right, guys. So all right. So I'm gonna head on out. There it is. I'll try to put this. I had to do this today because I'm leaving on vacation tomorrow. So next week I'll probably try to do this on Fridays again, Friday night. Y'all guys have a good one. See you guys next time.